Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Chaixolatte. I'm Chai and today we are taking it back to the basics. I had some of you guys ask me to go step by step and show you how to do your makeup. I'm talking extremely beginner friendly. I am not a licensed professional when it comes to makeup and skincare, but I am someone who has been doing their makeup for years. So if you're just getting started, and even if you have a little bit of the basics down, I'm going to pretty much give you guys a whole guide on how I do my makeup on myself. So hopefully this tutorial will be extremely helpful and it will encourage you to do your makeup on yourself because it's super fun and it becomes a lot easier as you practice. So in today's video, we're going to start out with the eyebrows. And yes, I'm going to pull back my hair. First things first, I'm going to show you what you need. You're going to need a few different kinds of brushes, a spoolie, a flat-headed round brush, and a more fluffy blending brush. You're going to use the actual product that you're going to be using to fill in your eyebrows. Today I'm using a pencil, but you can use an eyebrow pomade, and I've also seen people use like eyebrow liners. You're going to want to have some kind of concealer of your choice that you're going to use to clean up your brows, top and bottom, varying shades, all centered around your skin tone. I also have a foundation here as well. I even like to use Q-tips to make sure that everything's nice and clean and blended. You're gonna want some kind of brow gel in order to lock everything in place. And I'm using a makeup palette in order to mix all of my colors together. All right, everyone, let us begin. I'm going to start off by using my spoolie to brush out my eyebrow hairs and kind of get them in the direction that we want them to naturally lay. Now I'm gonna go in with my liner. This is the NK Makeup Auto Eye Liner in the color dark brown. First, I like to outline the bottom of my eyebrow. This does not have to be perfect. It can be as messy as you need it to be. We just want to have a nice and precise line for our eyebrow. And I'm literally just following my hairs at the bottom of my brow. And we're just getting a precise line. And as you can see, it does not have to be perfect, you guys. Then I like to go on top, not all the way in the front, but a little bit backwards because we're gonna make sure everything is nice and blended when we finish. Curve right there where the peak is and head down and connect the two lines. And then we fill everything in. You can be as light-handed or as heavy-handed as you want to be with the product. It just depends on how you want your brows to come out. This exact moment is when you want everything to be imperfect. So don't get all hung up on how the brows are looking now, because when they are done, they're gonna be nice and sharp and precise. So exactly what we did on this eye, we wanna do on this eye. We're gonna start at the bottom by outlining our line. And as a little tip, I like to kind of be mindful of where the liner is the pointiest and make sure I'm turning it as I am drawing on my brows so that I can get the pointy side drawing on the brows. And then you just want to fill it in. And there you have it, some bomb ass eyebrows. Y'all know I'm just joking, right? This is not the finished product. All right, so if you want to make things super precise, you can use a Q-tip and erase the little mistakes that you made so that putting on the concealer will be completely flawless. Totally up to you. This is simply an extra step. But what I primarily like to use my Q-tips for is to blend out the front section to make sure that it is not harsh. So if you look really closely, you can kind of see where my eyeliner starts here and there's like kind of none here. You just want to blend everything so that it's a nice ombre going on from one side to the other. Now it is time to clean up with concealer. And honestly, when it comes to this part and like choosing concealers and all of that good stuff, it's really gonna come down to knowing like undertones and trial and error. Honestly, that's how I learned, but I'm gonna just be mixing these two colors so that I get a nice color that would match well underneath my eyes. When I go for under the eyes, I like to be a little brighter. When I go for on top of the eyes, I like for it to match a little bit more closer to my skin tone. Okay, so I pretty much got a shade that I am okay with, and I'm using this nice flat rounded brush. You want to use something relatively flat so that it can nicely get right where you want it to be when it comes to carving out your eyebrows. Now when it comes to this part of doing my eyebrows, I'm gonna start with my arch right in this little corner. Kind of just want to go around, make like a little circle kind of thing situation. And then I follow that down, still kind of going in an outward motion to define the outer part of my brow. From that same point, I start to draw the brow inward. And you can even like raise your eyebrow a little bit to be able to really get in and see what you're doing. You can even move your brush in this way, like this. And here you see we have a relatively clean underbrow. I like to take the same amount of concealer that I have on my brush and just bring that concealer down like you see me doing here, all over my lid. And then I like to take my fluffy blending brush and just pat everything in underneath the eye. This is the left eye, and this is my right eye. So the same thing I did to my right eye, I'm gonna do to my left, and then I'm going to show you how to do the top part of your eyebrow. Now, as you can see, the bottom of our eyebrows is looking relatively clean. This is ideally around about the time where if you feel like one is looking more curved than the other or one looks more straight than the other, you can make your changes now before we move any further and apply any kind of powder to set the concealer. So in my case, oh Jesus. So in my case, I feel like this eyebrow is a little bit more flatter and this one's a little bit more rounded and curved. So I'm just gonna go in and make that adjustment really quickly before we go on to the top of the eyebrow. As you can see, the eyebrows are looking a little bit more like the same on both sides. So now we're going to go to the top of the brow. And instead of holding our brush this way, I'm gonna hold mine like this. And you can even point it downwards like this. It's all up to preference. But I'm just going to start at the front here and pretty much make small little strokes and find my way across the top of the brow. Now when it comes to the curve at the top of the brow, you want to start it a little bit more before where the curve is at the bottom. So we're going to start curving it now and start heading down. You just want to connect your two lines. We're gonna go ahead and blend this out nice and seamless. Pretty much just blending the concealer in with the rest of the surrounding skin. One thing that we can do in order to make sure that the front is not looking too harsh, just like how I did over here, you can kind of buff whatever product is in the middle of your eyebrow just slightly over onto the top of your brow, and that will kind of just blend things out a bit so that it's not so harsh. A really good example of a face powder that I have is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless powder. This one is in the color 355 Coconut, and this is pretty much how it looks. You're just gonna put a little bit on the brush and set everything that you just did, top and bottom. Along with setting your concealer and making sure that it does not move or budge, you do want to set your eyebrows. So we're going to do that with the Wet n Wild Eyebrow Gel. And this is just gonna help make sure that our eyebrow hairs are not moving all over the place throughout the day. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something, definitely give me a thumbs up and share it to your friends. Subscribe so that you are not missing any of my future uploads, and I'll see you guys in my next video.